Hey everyone, it's Rolf, and welcome. It's late May and spring has finally come to Toronto. Things are starting to bloom, and I'm here by the side of the Humber River in Toronto, and it's a lovely place to be on an evening. So welcome to a dry run. For those of you that are new to my videos, this is about me doing a social experiment, trying to give up beer for an entire year, something which I've never done. And so far I'm in like week 13. So this weekend will officially be week 13. It's midweek as we're making this video. So I want to bring you up to date because it's been a while since I've done my last video. Now, the last time I was talking about what can people do with the extra time and the extra planning and perhaps the social times, the parties that used to be associated with having alcohol. And now suddenly that option either isn't there, or you're trying to change your life to the point where you're going to have to make other adjustments to just having drinks with friends, or even drinks alone at home, or going out to people's places, or to bars or pubs or whatnot. So this is something I would say it's probably one of my biggest challenges, and in some ways a certain kind of routine and boredom has set in. And I know a lot of people who give up drinking, even if they were fairly light drinkers or social drinkers like I was. You know, what is going to take its place? So my option so far has been nothing much. Yes! I mean, I have been trying to do more work on my projects, work on other things, go out for walks, you know, see some of my friends. I don't have a large circle of friends, but, and even though it wasn't that large, what you did have tends to dwindle as you give up drinking and start everybody finding out about that, and word slowly gets around. Now, it's not the same kind of peer pressure when you're like in your 20s or 30s. You always hear about that in videos of younger people trying to give up alcohol or quit drinking. Part of it is their social group, their peer group. So people are much more, I don't know, hesitant about doing a major lifestyle change like that, and try to still keep their friends as well. What I found so far, I mean, I'm in my 50s, you don't tend to care what people think so much. A lot of people, you know, have lived their lives, have busy lives, they have families, they have jobs, they have stresses. Not that you don't when you're young, but like, you know, good for you if you're trying to give something up. We're not going to push alcohol on you because you know, you're a wimp or some kind of person who, you know, has suddenly found religion. Like, you know, you let things be, you let things play out as they are. And if anything, the people I have told have been, you know, supportive of it. They're curious, you know, as probably I would be too, because it's not the easiest thing to do. And don't forget, even though that you are a light drinker or a social drinker, and this is being done by choice, you've still done it for decades. That's right, like years and years and years of the same thing. It kind of gets to become a habit, right? And that habit is really, really hard to break, especially if that habit is associated with so many of your activities day to day and week to week, and the friends you see and all that stuff. When you're younger, I think you feel maybe stronger connections, but life is long, and your group of friends will change. When you're older, you're a lot more set, and you have deep roots in communities and with family and friends, and it's not that easy to change that around. It's not common to, pick up and, go live somewhere else. It's possible, but it's not that common because you tend to be peaking in your career, your family's grown up, and you want to stay more or less where you are. And so that gets back to, the non-drinking and what I do with my time. So this has become really my number one thing. I don't know how exactly to fill the time. I'm trying to fill it by doing productive activities. I have a small video production company, so I try to work on projects as much as I can. I don't want to fill up the time completely with work and productivity because, hey, all work and no play, right? And it's just that you're always on the wheel. I'm a person who believes very strongly in balance, and so you have to experience things like this, going out for a walk and just enjoying nature, and being with, being by yourself, like truly by yourself, with no devices and, no video recorders, no cameras, and just enjoy to sort of feed your brain, your mind, your soul. So that's a lot easier to do, of course, in the summer months, which we're quickly approaching. And less so in the winter. But patio season is upon us, and patios, of course, is one place where I did like to spend some time. Let's be honest. Is there anything better than on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon, having or Friday or whatever, having a beer on the patio and watch the world go by, and have a nice conversation with a friend or friends. These are the things that we live for. And now, will it be, I still don't plan on giving up patios, but will it be will I get as much enjoyment out of it, nursing a Coke or something like that? I don't know. I have to find these things out. Like, so far, so good. But the true triggers, good weather, patio time, barbecues, just being outdoors in the warmth, all these things, signify or could be a trigger to, wow, wouldn't a beer go good with this? But if you start thinking that way, having a beer, in my case, for other people it could be wine or spirit or whatnot, you can make up just about any excuse you want. And so everything goes with a celebratory drink. I'm going to get into another topic perhaps later, but another one is, sports and TV, and, the beer demographic and drinking demographic. Like, they are so closely linked. Like that. Very, very tightly. Hand in glove, as they say. I want to share one tip with you about beating cravings. One is eating early, because once a craving, if it's nothing else, it's an appetite. And so there are probably more than having just alcohol to feed that appetite. And I've been finding if I have some food, the craving starts to subside. And if I have or eat early, if I have, like, say, a full dinner, I don't really feel like having a drink at all. Like, one does replace the other, at least with me it does. So that I found has been like a bit of a survival tool for me, that dinner and having food is now earlier in the evening, as opposed to maybe having a cocktail or two and then having dinner. And by the way, I want to say I was never really like a late evening drinker. I hated going to bed drunk or having drank too much. I just hate that feeling. So, my time was kind of like cocktail hour, maybe till 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, and that was it. So that's one tip I have, and maybe you should try that. If you can't have a full meal, have something that is either a sweet, or have something, you know, maybe that has had a little bit of a higher fat content. If you're on a diet, okay, that's problematic, and both. But like, say something like cheese on a cracker, something with a bit of fat content too, and that should help a lot with the cravings. And the other thing I find is that just having like, you know, a Coke or a soda or a ginger ale or some kind of sweet drink. Again, it serves the same purpose without filling up on food. Now, I'm not advocating, you know, drinking sugary sweet drinks, especially if you're on a diet or if you don't like them, if you think they're unhealthy. But if the craving is strong, I do find that having the sugar in your body or sugar substitute really does help with the craving. And so the time passes, you know, that window of maybe a half an hour to an hour, and then you find that you don't really desire a drink that much. At least that's the case with me. Like, I can't speak for other people, but there have been, you know, a lot of people talking about these kinds of tips for trying to beat cravings, and I find that those two, like having something to eat or having something sweet or having some kind of carbonated drink with a bit of sweet in it, or even say a coffee with dairy in it, that's kind of filling too. So I find those things work for me. Now, I don't plan on wanting to live my life this way forever, but I am finding, it's been over 3 months now, and I'm really getting used to the idea of not wanting alcohol all that much. You know, there are those few kind of tricky points.
Tricky.
But beyond that, I never seem to have like a deep craving for the stuff. I can live mostly without it. Now, that can change over time, because, you know, there is a balance to life, and I don't want to completely use that social component, which seems to really be strongly tied to alcohol, and I like that. But for now, while I'm on this challenge that I want to do for a year, I think I can kind of cope and try to find other ways of having social fun and other activities, because let's face it, drinking, the activities around drinking and the recovery afterwards, they take up a lot of time in a person's life. Like, if you really sat down and added up the hours over a month, you'd be pretty shocked at how much, if you're just, you know, having drinks 2 or 3 nights a week, and then you kind of feel sluggish, you know, for maybe one of the days or something like that. It's a lot of time to be, you know, handing over to having a few cocktails and good times. All right, well, that's about it. I'm gonna wrap it up for now. Hope you found that at least helpful a little bit. And like I said, we're out here at the Humber River in Toronto. Everything is in its May greenliness, is that a word? But as you can see behind me, we have you know, very nice foliage, and you know, the river itself behind me, and it's a beautiful evening. So again, I'm gonna wrap it up. Hope to see you in the next video. Bye for now. Thanks for watching.